Hello, and welcome to this video workshop brought to you by the Ventura County Community Interpreters. My name is Michael Mario Castro, and today's workshop is going to be on leadership and interpreting. VCCI's workshops are based on the latest research and findings from leading experts in their fields. The resource and inspiration for today's workshop is the work by Mark Sanborn and his book, You Don't Need a Title to Be a Leader. I strongly recommend this book for anyone looking to develop their personal and professional leadership skills. Simply go to Amazon.com or your favorite source for buying books and look for You Don't Need a Title to Be a Leader by Mark Sanborn. Before we talk about leadership and interpreting, we must first pause to think, what is leadership? Leadership is influence. Your ability to bring out the best in yourself and those around you is what makes you a leader. It is important to note that just because one has a title or high-ranking position, it does not automatically make him or her a leader. We've all known or heard of a supervisor who was a quote-unquote bad boss. More than likely, it was not because they were unable to complete their job. It was probably more related to their support as a leader. So, if it's not the title that makes you a leader, then what is it? Simply put, it's what you give that determines your worth as a leader, not what you control. When you give it your all at work or do your best when making dinner, you're acting as a leader and earning your place as such. A very profound quote from Philip of Macedonia reads, "An army of deer led by a lion is more to be feared than an army of lions led by a deer." What this means is that regardless of the abilities of the group, the leader is the one that makes the team successful, because the leader brings out the best in every individual. Our author, Mark Sanborn, further explains this idea by stating that an army of lions led by a lion is to be feared most of all, for it is unstoppable. In this regard, not only is the person in charge a leader, but each member as well. Think about how much more effective your workplace would be, or even your home, if everyone used leadership to get things done. To help us further understand what leadership is, we must discuss the difference between management and leadership. Here you see just a few examples. Managers have employees. Leaders win followers. Managers react to change. Leaders create change. Managers have good ideas. Leaders implement good ideas. Managers use power over people. Leaders use power with people. We're not looking to use our skills and abilities to control people, but instead to be proactive and looking to use them to create success with the people in the situation at hand. So how does one be a leader on the job? The answer is very simple. Do your job, whatever it may be, with initiative, and you are a leader. To help us understand leadership and interpreting, we look to RID's definition of what an interpreter is. This is a lengthy definition of linguistic and cultural requirements, but I would like to emphasize the portion about understanding culture and applying that knowledge to promote effective communication. This applying of knowledge is the leadership portion of interpreting. Many are already doing this in their practice. However, some feel they are not allowed to because of some ambiguity in their understanding of what their role is. Know this. Being a leader and making those applications in your work is what makes you a professional interpreter and sets us apart from the non-human sources, such as translation machines. You may be thinking, so if I am a leader, then who's in charge? The truth is, everyone is in charge. They're just in charge of different things. Each person is in charge of, a leader of, their specialty. Some may refer to this as their role. For example, in a meeting with the lawyer is in charge of legal counsel. The consumer is in charge of using the services provided, and the interpreter is in charge of communication. Each is in charge of their role and should therefore act as a leader for this specialty that makes everyone in charge of their own task. This is how we create successful and effective teams. In discussing our role, it would be a disservice to not address the idea of neutrality. Neutrality can be discussed on many levels, but for our purposes, will only be briefly touched upon. The question is, does neutrality exist? Yes. Does it work for interpreting? No. Things are neutral. Machines are neutral. People are not. A book on a desk can be neutral simply by the fact that it has the ability to not affect the situation that it's in by any means. The simple presence of a person makes them affect the situation, making them, by definition, not neutral. The same applies to interpreting. For this reason, interpreters are trained in their craft for many years so they know how to professionally and safely address situations when being neutral simply does not exist. If there is no neutrality in interpreting, then what is it that we do? I call this notion applied neutrality. When we have applied anything, it means that you use only the parts that work for your situation. As an example, interpreting is applied communications. We use the tools from communications to bridge the gap between two languages. With applied neutrality, we draw from the idea of neutrality but are not using neutrality itself. In doing so, we have the flexibility to act as leaders in our different work settings. The same idea can also be seen in more recent interpreting research, such as the outline model and Robin Dean's demand control schema. This notion of applied interpreting and applied neutrality is often spoke of anecdotally between professionals, but has never been called as such. This does remain an area where more research is necessary. Perhaps those of you watching will take this up as your next research topic. For now, we can safely say that neutrality in interpreting does allow for leadership to occur. When it comes to leadership beyond the hot seat, meaning when you're not interpreting in front of clients, remember to stand up for yourself as a leader as well. Interpreters are not martyrs and are not expected to suffer for the greater good. If you need a break, say so with confidence and make adjustments as necessary. Take care of yourself first and then give the best of yourself to the profession. If you put yourself second, it'll take a toll on your body and show in your work. Also, if for no other reason than health and safety, request teams. Research has shown many benefits to interpreting with a team, including workplace physical health benefits. As leaders, do not be afraid to ask for teams when necessary. Be a leader whether your hands are in the air interpreting or not. Even with these examples, you may still be wondering, how do I become a leader in interpreting? Here are a few things to keep in mind. When acting as a leader, do not think that you must influence everyone or everything yourself. You will wear yourself out, which will ultimately lead to frustration and you hating your job. We each can provide our own individual skills. Because of this, we think, how can I best contribute to the team or the situation? This question will guide you in giving the best of you to the team, making the work situation that much more successful. If you can be supportive somehow, do it. Whether it be interpreting in the hot seat or coordinating from the office, you can still be a leader. Probably the ultimate tool when it comes to interpreting, though, is confidence. Be confident in your work for both hearing and deaf consumers. It establishes trust and inspires the consumers to believe in the result of your work and request you for future assignments. As an example, when asking for clarification, do not over-apologize. Do not say, excuse me, I missed that part. I'm so sorry, can you say it again? Just ask for the part that needs clarification. Give an affirming head nod and continue your work. It's much smoother that way. You can say thank you if you want to at the end of the assignment. Be confident. Remember, the deer versus the lion. The field of interpreting is not known for its fame and glory. Yet, a leader will always leave a legacy. Think, how will people remember me? How have I made my job better for me and those involved? This is often how interpreters are spoken of in the deaf community. Whether the gossip on you is positive or negative is based on your impression you have given on the job, your legacy. Keep in mind that your legacy lives not in the writings of you, but in the people you have influenced. To help keep the ego in check, I would like to use Sanborn's explanation of fame versus greatness. There are many famous people that we know of, but nobody really knows why they're famous. The truth is, they're famous because of what they get in life. There are many people we also know of who we consider to be great. They are great because of what they give in life. The great leaders you see here are just a few examples of people who have made great contributions to their specialties. I would like for you to do the same. Think about what you have learned here in terms of leadership and interpreting, and go out there and be great. I hope this video workshop inspires you to think about how you can improve your interpreting practice. Feel free to subscribe and leave feedback below. See you next time.